What's going on, College Hoops Heads? This is another edition of both the One and Done podcast. Also, this is going to be on the Center Hub's YouTube channel. I am here. My name is Stephen Bagell. I am joined by Matt Kostoff, and we are here with a very special guest, Phil Martelli Jr., new head coach at VCU. Coach, how are you doing today?
Stephen and Matt, it's great to be with you.
Matt, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm good. Glad to be here. Coach, thanks for taking the time. Steve, you want to kick us off with a quick?
Yeah. So just for perspective, we are doing a college basketball season preview magazine, previewing all 365 Division I teams. With that said, we're interviewing a whole slew. We're interviewing over 100 Division I coaches. One of them, obviously, Coach Martelli, being here, gracious enough to be one of those 100-plus coaches. But Matt is writing the A10 for this magazine, so he has more, I suppose, team philosophy, team building type centric questions. But I'm going to get us kicked off, Coach, because I'm actually a Philadelphia native. I went to Temple.
Awesome.
I obviously know you have the ties to St. Joe's. I grew up watching your dad. I had plenty of friends to go to St. Joe. So let me start with the Philly ties. What did you were one of the ADs at St. Joe's, correct? I know you played at St. Joe's, but what capacity did you work there?
Yeah, I was on the basketball staff. I graduated. I was on the team as a walk-on. I graduated. I went to work at Central Connecticut for 2 years. I went to Manhattan for a year. I was at Niagara for 5. I was at University of Delaware for 5. We won a championship there, and unfortunately, 2 years later, I got fired. And I went to work for the Sixers for a year with the D-League when it was still the D-League, now the G-League. And then that year after, I went on my dad's staff as Director of Program Administration. And really, those 2 years were instrumental because the year in the NBA, I always say, was like getting a PhD in X's and O's.
Yeah,
you know, the way that those guys taught, the way that they thought, the things that, and everything trickles down, right? So the things that they were doing were things that we would eventually see 2 or 3 years later in college. So I was able to get a head start with that, which was great. So that part of it was huge. And then the time as Director of Program Administration at St. Joe's was invaluable in, I was lucky early in my career to be an assistant coach almost right away.
Mm-hmm.
And that time there gave me, I said the PhD in X's and O's, I'll say the PhD in just running a program. I kind of had an idea, I had some idea of it, but really that was a lot of big picture stuff, whether it was fundraising, budget management, campus relay, all of it. It was all of it. And, that experience really helped me when I finally got the opportunity to be a head coach.
Yeah. And Coach, kind of just touching off that experience you had in the D-League, what kind of did you bring with you after that you kind of use now for like player development? Because you were inside basically the NBA developing players. What did you bring with you, and like how do you kind of incorporate that with guys who want to go to the next level?
Yeah, I think player development's a big deal to us. If this wasn't behind me, you'd be able to see right into our practice facility and see the words develop and compete over both of my shoulders in big, bold letters. Those are kind of the staples of who we are and what we want to do every day, develop and compete. So player development wise, I think just the amount of time that was spent on little details, right?
Yeah.
And you have an NBA guy that's making, $15 million a year, but he's working on finishing every day,
Mm-hmm.
and that stuff. And the specialization of like, you don't have to be good at everything, but if we can make you great at something, that's going to make us exponentially better.
Mm-hmm.
So, I saw that with guys there was, if this was their skill, they worked on that skill a large percentage of time. Now they worked on other things as well.
Yeah.
I think early in my college career, I saw it where guys they worked like equal amount of time on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they were getting that much better in any one area. They were getting slightly better, but it was like, okay, well, if if you're a 3 in ball handling and 3 in shooting and a 3 in this and 3 in that, and then you're working on all those things and you become a 4 in everything, it's not really. But if you're a 3 in something and then a 6 in something, and you say, okay, if we really work on that, that can become an 8. Well, that's special. That's elite. So that was something that I really took. And then just in terms of style of play, teaching guys to play basketball. I saw guys come through there that were great college players that they got there and they couldn't play. And it's because they didn't know how to play with other good players. They knew how to play in a system. They were guys that were highlighted in a system. And I don't want that for any of our guys. I don't want any of our guys to go take a professional opportunity. I want them all to have that chance that want to play. And I don't want them to get there and have somebody say like, oh, well, they don't know how to play. You know, and again, everybody in the NBA runs different plays and all that kind of stuff, but being able to play basketball is universal. These guys should be able to leave here. It's my goal, our staff's goal, that these guys can leave here and they can go play any system anywhere in the world, and they have the basics of knowing how to play good basketball. That was a big thing for me, was how much guys at that level wanted to play good, not just play basketball, but play good basketball. And that's something we try to preach every day.
Yep, makes sense. Now you kind of like honed on that leaving it better than you found it. When you left Bryant to take this job, and you leave Bryant after national NCAA tournament experience, what was it about this job that you wanted to leave a place that you were there for 2 successful years, head coaching wise, and what made VCU so special?
Yeah, honestly, I'll change your words there. I did not want to leave. I was very, very, very happy at Bryant. I loved it there. The people were great. My family was very happy there. We loved it. And quite frankly, as people would call towards the end of the year, and that time of year starts of this coaching change, and that spot's going to open. And what do you think about this? And would you do this? And would you do that? There really was nothing on my radar that was going to pull me from Bryant. I was pretty content. And really, that's how I was going into it. We were flying back on that charter Saturday afternoon from Cleveland from the tournament after losing to Michigan State. And my mind was like, how do we make Bryant even better? And pretty much like, hey, I'm good. Like that, winning like that at a place like that gives you a few more years. And I'm like, all right, well, this will get us to whatever. And we got to continue to grind and continue to elevate and do this again next year. And, I was looking at it like, man, that's a place I want to be for a long time. But VCU is special. I mean, it's one of the places where you can mention it really internationally, not just around the country, but around the world. People know VCU. It's a brand. It's a major brand. It's not a blue blood, like Kentucky and Kansas and Duke and North Carolina and those, but it's probably in that next tier, in that next tier of, I say it all the time, there's only so many places where people know the name of the arena. If I say Fog Allen Fieldhouse, you know what that means. If I say Rupp Arena, if I say Cameron Indoor, you know what that means. If I say Siegel Center, you know what that means. And, even the casual fan knows what that means. So to come to a place like VCU, where men's basketball is the primary sport, there's no football, the resources that are here, the support levels that's here. And then Ed McLaughlin, our athletic director, was our athletic director at Niagara. We started there. I started as an assistant when he started as an AD. And there's nobody better than him in college basketball. I mean, he is as smart a person. He's as driven a person. He's as supportive. So once I knew those things were in place, it was very, very difficult to say no to that.
And now kind of just coming to VCU, to this transfer portal and everything now nowadays in NCAA, what does it kind of mean to you to have, I believe it's 5 or 6 guys returning to VCU who you never coached? They believe in you enough to stay there, want to continue to build something that the previous coach may have left behind, and they want to be that example for what VCU basketball is. What does that mean to you to have them stay on board?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we had 5 of the 7 guys return. And most importantly, they're the right 5 guys. Like, they are 5 hardworking, driven, great people, the types of guys we want, highly talented but high character guys, and they were all that. So that was wasn't easy to get them back, but they were easy guys to want back, for sure. So to have those guys come back, to be able to start building with them in the spring was huge. I will say this, whatever our hopeful success looks like here this year, it will be built on those guys and what they started on April. I'd have to look back and figure out what the date was, but April 5th, something like that. It's what they started over those 4 weeks in the spring. And then the way that they embraced these guys, these new guys as they came in, 9 new guys is a lot, but they embraced those guys one by one as they came in, and have helped ingrain them into the culture of VCU, not just VCU men's basketball, but the culture of VCU in the city of Richmond.
Mm-hmm. And then when you go in and you try and find those 9 new guys, is there some type of player that you're looking for who's able to fit the VCU system, or is there a non-basketball trait you kind of highly value in a recruit?
Yeah, I mean, efficiency is a big deal to me. That's the thing that I look at most. There's certain things that I look at, certain benchmarks that I wouldn't share publicly, that hopefully no one else recognizes or uses. But we've been doing transfers long enough where there are certain things that numbers and even some non-number things where I can look at and say, okay, that is the guys that have been successful with us, the guys we've seen take big jumps, they have that. They hit this mark, this whatever. And it's hard because some guys don't play, right? Like Ahmad Noel didn't play much at UConn.
Yep.
But there were certain things there and a familiarity with him back to his high school days in Philadelphia. Other guys had a body of work, right? Like, Tyrell Ward played 2 years and played a lot at LSU. J. Tracy played a lot at Oregon the last 2 years. So you have those numbers that and the film and everything that you can go off of. But yeah, I mean, there's certain things that we look for. And then with the basketball part, I always say is easy. I can look at the film. I can look at the stats. The basketball part is easy. The character piece is what's really important to me. And we've passed on guys. Like, we've passed on guys this year. We passed on guys in the past where, the numbers and everything would say yes, but the character, you just said, that's not our type of guy. Right? He's coming to just put up numbers. He's coming to just do whatever. Like, that's not for us.
Yeah.
The winning still has to matter. The winning and the relationships and people that are about the team, they usually do pretty well with us, and that's what we focus on when it comes to the character piece. Yeah,
and it had to be kind of easy to get 2 of those guys, you who familiar faces at Bryant with you. Just kind of curious now on the recruitment side of things. You have Lewis, who's coming in, top 56 player in the country. How does it work now when you're speaking with these top 50, 75 recruits who might traditionally consider, one of those blue bloods? And what's kind of your selling point when you emphasize the VCU program, its culture, and its potential for, long-term growth? Because you're in conversations now with these top 50, top 75 guys, and you're in the official visits, you're in the final 6 with some of these guys. You got Sammy Jackson coming in next year. He was looking at Power 5 schools all over. So what's your selling point now with VCU?
Yeah, I can't speak to specific recruits, but what I can tell you generally is we have resources here.
Yeah.
We have a practice facility that, again, you could strip off the logos and you could name one of those blue bloods and you'd say, okay, yeah, this is their practice facility. I mean, and I would say this, you could strip off the logos and say an NBA team, and you could say, yes, this is their practice facility. So we want for nothing in that regard. I continue to joke, like, they'll ask me administratively, like, well, what else do you need? I don't even know what to ask for. I'm coming from places where you're sharing the gym, and sometimes you got a curtain down, you got one court, and on the other side of the curtain, cheerleading's going with a boombox. That's probably dating myself, but an iPod or something blasting at like 111, volume.
Yeah.
You're trying to do a walkthrough, or you can only shoot on one half of the court. I mean, 2 days before our championship game this year, hosting our championship game, we couldn't practice on campus because there was an event in the gym, and they took over everything. The film room, the main court, which was the only court we had. So you look around here and you have a practice facility that is 24/7. The resources, the people. We have a strength coach and athletic trainer that are the best of the best. So all these things, a staff that I think is really tremendous. So you have all these things. And then I think it's selling the relationship piece.
Yeah.
Well, this is a very transactional world, and college basketball has reflected that. It's extremely transactional. So with all that transaction, there are people that have just fallen into that they are strictly transactional, and that's the way it is. We are very much the opposite. I still believe in the relationship piece. I still believe in the transformational piece. So, it's about that. It's about that relationship piece and letting people know, like, we still care. Like, yes, there's money involved, and you can sign a contract, and you can get revenue share, and you can get NIL, and you can do all these different things, which is new. But there's still a relationship piece that matters.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody in business that's really good at business that is just strictly transaction. There's still a relationship, and we are very, very, very focused on that. And I think when people get around us and meet us and see our staff and see our players and see the interactions, they recognize that. And we play an exciting style. We're up tempo. We score a lot of points. We're aggressive defensively. We have a style that makes people want to come and play. And the way that we go about our business every day, the number of guys that have come through on visits, on official visits, whatever, that have sat there and been like, watching an hour summer workout, and they're like, man, that felt like it was 15 minutes. Where most places you go, to be honest with you, and you sit through an hour workout and you're like, all right, like I'm ready to go. Like, this is, and so it's exciting that way. And I think that's what's helped us, with our efforts.
Yeah, and I mean, even the proof's in the pudding. I mean, VCU players are all over the NBA now. Shulga just got drafted. I mean, even in the NFL, Alec Cox is still playing for the Colts. And I remember him tearing up the A-10 back in, 2010 when he was jacked. And I was like, holy crap, this guy's an animal. Steve, you got anything?
I have one more question to Matt. Want to get in the full court press after that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Coach Martelli, I have one more question. Then we're going to do a full court press, which is like a fun, rapid fire, 8-question type thing where you can answer however you want, just for people to learn more about you.
Awesome.
Obviously, I already alluded to it. You're the son of a coach. How has that sort of been instilled in you growing up that you feel like benefits you now as a head coach?
Yeah, I mean, just being around it from such a young age and finding that love for coaching, the love for the game and then the love for coaching, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I think it's the greatest thing in the world to do, and I mean, I come to work like this every day, right? Like most days anyway. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and I'm on the court and working with guys and watching people improve and live out their dreams, and all that is incredible. And I've always said, like, the secret sauce to my dad was not X's and O's. He certainly was plenty good enough there, but his secret sauce was the people and managing people. And when our conversations, come about often, it's always about that. It's always about the people. Hey, check on that guy. Make sure you put your arm around this guy. And we had a big game on ESPN this year, and he was actually at the game. And I had a guy in the rotation that was in the rotation early in the year that was out of the rotation, that was, didn't play in the game. And he said to me after, he's like, you need to make sure you grab that guy tonight or tomorrow and highlight in front of the team what a great job he did on the bench. And when I watched it back, I saw it. And it's like, those are the things that someone like him will notice and say, hey, you might want to check on that guy. Like, he had his head down for a while, like just those things, and the messages and the way to get through to people and kind of capture their hearts. That's really what has benefited me as a coach. And then to see the number of people that he's impacted, the lives that he's impacted, that's really what's inspiring to me, to say, like, we have an opportunity to this. Yes, there's, He won 444 games. He's one of the leaders in wins, in the A10, all those things. I think he's second maybe in A10 wins, whatever it is. He's got all those things, but that doesn't matter. It's the conversations that he's having on a daily basis with players, going to see their families, spending time with them, all that. Like, that's where I see his greatest joy, and that's always in my mind.
Awesome.
Okay. So, yeah, let's get into full court press again. Rapid fire. You could give one-word answers, like just a rapid fire type thing, as I said. What's your favorite basketball memory?
Ooh. My favorite basketball memory would be any of the times I've been able to cut down a net. I was not able to do it as a player, which drives me insane and drives me to make sure that our guys get to do that in a uniform. So I've had to do it in a suit and I guess a polo and a zip up as a coach. And Selection Sunday. I love Selection Sunday. My earliest memory, though, is me and my brother with my dad learning to shoot. We had a blue chair in the living room. Shooting on the blue chair is my earliest memory on Hamilton Street in Norristown, Pennsylvania, just outside Philly.
Who's your favorite all-time player?
Magic Johnson.
Okay. What's your favorite Philadelphia cheesesteak? This one's a specific to you.
That's a good one. I would always say D'Alessandro's. Chubby's right across the street has made a strong recent impression on me. If I had to, if you told me like you're going down, you can only get one, I think I'd go to Campo's right now.
Okay. If there was no such thing as basketball, what would you be doing as a career?
I wouldn't mind being a stand-up comic if I could survive.
Okay. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Man, read people's minds.
That would help as a coach, for sure.
Very much so. Although it might hurt as a coach.
Yeah. Who's getting benched?
Who's the best player you ever coached, and who's the best player you ever coached against?
Ooh, this is a great question. The best player I ever coached, I'm going to go recency bias and say there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of guys I could say, but I'll go recency bias and say Earl Timberlake was player of the year, was top 10 in every major category, back-to-back years. He was last year when he did it. He was the first time. He should have been back-to-back player of the year. He got, quite frankly, and I can say it. I've left the America East now, but he got robbed as a junior. He should have won player of the year that year too. But a fantastic player, all-around player, winner, just cared about all the right things. But I hate answering that question because there's a lot of them. Coached against. That's a really good question. I'm going to go a little bit circumvent it a little bit. The most impressive thing I ever saw was in 2007, we went to the NCAA tournament at Niagara. We played Kansas, was the number 1 overall seed, was tremendous. They were incredible defensively, long and athletic, and they were unlike anything I'd ever really seen to that point. But in the Big 12 tournament, as I was watching them, scouting them, a freshman named Kevin Durant had 38 against them. And I'm watching his performance going man, this guy's really good. But then to see Kansas live and go, I don't know, there's a lot of teams that couldn't score 38 against them. And to watch one dude do it, that was pretty impressive. So that sticks out in my mind. I've seen some incredible performance. Adrian Payne at Michigan State when I was at Delaware he had 40 against us in the tournament, made a bunch of threes that he wasn't doing. We played against a really good Duke team that had a couple first-round picks. So there's a whole bunch of them on there.
Okay. We actually had the opportunity to interview Earl Timberlake when he was at Portsmouth this past year. So I agree with all those sentiments that you said. Final one, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Michael Jordan, but LeBron has made a strong push, for sure. But I got to go MJ. I mean, to win 6 titles, take 2 years off, come back, win 3, take 2 years off, win another 3. The fashion with which he did it, the intensity, but I'll tell you what, if either one of those guys wanted to walk in the gym and put on a black and gold uniform, I wouldn't hesitate.
Fair enough.
Okay, that's pretty much all we have, Coach. We appreciate you taking the time to, come talk hoops with us. As we said, we are selling the college basketball season preview magazine. We're previewing all 365 teams. Your insight was very appreciated in terms of helping Matt write VCU and just give more aspects of the entire A10. The pre-order link for anyone watching this will be in the bio of this video, so please go check that out. And otherwise, we will talk to you next episode. Coach, again, we appreciate you, and we will talk to everyone soon. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.